What's up, you guys? In today's video I'm going to be talking about something you guys have actually asked for in a bunch of your comments and through some direct messages on Facebook and on Instagram. That's nothing more than some different 7th chords, and more specifically the use of drop 2 chords with those 7th chords. Now, what is a drop 2 chord? It's a very specific voicing in which you drop the second highest voice of the actual voicing and you put it down at the bottom. Now, if we're just using 7 chords for these types of voicings, you're going to get 1, 3, 5, 7. You're going to take the second to highest voice, which is the 5th, and you're going to drop it down at the bottom, and the ending result would be 5, 1, 3, and 7. In the case of a major chord applied to the C major scale, you'd end up with something like this. Another thing is that you don't get the root and the bass with this specific chord. This is actually a second inversion of that voicing. Now, to get to the root position voicing of these drop 2 chords, what you do is you move those notes up to the next notes or down, however you prefer. But in this case, I'm going to go move everything up to the next note of the chord. So in the case of the 5th, I'm going to move it to the 7th, the tonic to the 3rd, the 3rd to the 5th, the 7th to the tonic. You end up with this. Now, we're still not at the root position, so we got to move once again. So the 7th to the tonic, the 3rd to the 5th, the 5th to the 7th, and the tonic to the 3rd. And you end up with this, or this. It's exactly the same thing. Now, that's a much more common chord than the other ones I've been doing. And you've probably seen this type of voicing, be it on articles, I don't know, magazine, instructional videos. They're all over the place. Now, what I want to do for you guys is give you a kind of a survival guide as to being able to play just about anything. So what you want to do is memorize at least the major 7s, the dominant 7s, the minor 7s, and the minor 7 flat 5s. With that, you can play a whole bunch of different music out there. Let's begin with the major 7s. Let's move it throughout the 4 different inversions. So that's root position. Then you move that as we did before. Move everything up a note, and you end up with this voicing right here. That's the first inversion. It has the 3rd and the bass. And that's actually my favorite voicing of the drop 2 chords. Move everything up, you end up with this guy, which we already saw before. And move everything up again, and you end up with this guy. Now, that's all 3 different inversions for the major 7. Now, if you wanted to get a dominant chord, we all know that a major 7 chord is just 1, 3, 5, 7, no accidentals whatsoever. So if we wanted to change that up and play a dominant chord, we'd have to drop the 7th of the chord and get a flat 7th or a minor 7. So you end up with 1, 3, 5, and flat 7, and it's this guy right here. Move that up, and you end up with this guy, which is the first inversion. Then we go up to the second inversion, and then to the 3rd inversion, which has the 7th and the bass. The same thing to get the minor 7 chords. Now, with the dominant chords, we have 1, 3, 5, and flat 7, while with the minor 7 chord, we have 1, flat 3, 5, and flat 7. So all we're going to do is drop that 3rd a little bit and end up with this guy. Move everything up, and you end up with this guy. And that chord actually sounds very familiar. At least to me, it sounds a lot like one of the chords in one of Pliny's songs. If you know the name of that song, please comment it below, because right now I just can't remember the name of the song. Now, the next chord, or the second inversion, would be this guy. And the final inversion would be this guy, with the 7th in the bass. Now, lastly, we get the minor 7 flat 5 chords, and it's, again, the same thing. Now we just lower the 5th. So a minor 7 has 1, flat 3, 5, and flat 7. A minor 7 flat 5 has 1, flat 3, flat 5, and flat 7. And it's this guy right here. Move everything up. Move everything up. And move everything up to the last inversion. And you can do the same exact type of of movement to find other chords. So if you wanted to play, I don't know, like a major 7 sharp 5 chord, you just take like a major 7 and you move the 5th up a half step to get a 1, 3, sharp 5, and 7. And this guy right here. If you wanted to play a minor major 7 chord, you could play, that's major 7, drop the 3rd to get 1, flat 3, 5, and natural 7, and end up with this guy. And you could do that with any type of chord. Alright, so that's it for this video. Hope you guys liked it and learned something new. Remember, you can follow me on any type of social media. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm obviously on YouTube. You can check out any of the different products that I have out there, like my book, The Art of Scale Weaving, and my instructional box set called 10 Modern Fusion Licks, which I did with the guys from Guitar Tutorials. Lastly, if you've ever been wondering about any of the gear that I actually use to record these videos, like my interface, the different guitars I use, you can check them out at a specific section on my website called juanantoniomusic.com/gear. And you can find everything there, just absolutely everything there, with specific links to Amazon, where you can find the actual information that you need, and you can find out more about each of these products and see if you actually want to use them. Alright, so that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.